Hi guys, this is the tutorial for the faux mother of pearl. This is one that I'd already done before. My dog just jumped on the bed. And this is another one that I also did before. Okay, so what we need to do is get some pearl white clay, cut into equal squares, and some translucent clay cut into equal squares. And you'll need a roller, a tissue blade, the square cutter, and some mica powders. This one is white perfect pearls. And then on each of the white pieces of square clay, you need to take the colours that you're going to use in this, and it's like the tiniest amount. I would say roughly not even pea size, probably half a pea size. So I've got a red, peacock blue, copper, pearl purple, pearl green, and some silver. So obviously I use this cutter to cut all the squares out so they're all equal. And you're just going to take each of the translucent squares and cut them in half, and place each half on top of the pearl white clay. Like so. And then you need to thoroughly mix all those components together. So I'm going to run each of these through the pasta machine when I've mixed them all. So that's the first colour. And I'm back with all the other colours thoroughly mixed. And you can see that the colours are very, very subtle. And very shiny. Now the next thing you're going to need to do is get your mica powder, your white mica powder, and with a brush just put some on top of each layer of the different coloured clays. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Now what I do as well is add some of these powders, which are called Born Pretty. They're actually nail powders. You don't have to do this part, you could just use the white mica powder, but I like these because they're very iridescent and they have a hint of colour in each one. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that to each one as well. And each one, like I say, has a different hint of colour. So this is like a pinky colour, so I'm adding it to the pinky coloured clay. You can get these on Amazon. So again, add the white, my brain today isn't working, the white mica powder. And then again, the corresponding Born Pretty powder. This one has a green hint to it. You can't really see that well. I tend to use a lot of these Born Pretty powders on black clay. and they show up the colour really well then if you use it on a dark coloured clay. And this was the clay with the purple hue, so I'm adding the corresponding Born Pretty powder. And then the last one. I'm not quite sure what that colour was. I actually think I got the wrong colour, but it really doesn't matter because it's all going to blend together anyway. And it's just to add some extra shine and iridescence. And then finally the white mica powder again. So you need to mix all that thoroughly in to the clay. And then you need to roll out each piece onto a number 3. Well, on mine it's a number 3, which is an Atlas 150. So it would be the 4th thickest setting. Just so long as they're all equal thicknesses, I don't suppose it really matters, but I just rolled mine onto a 3. So then you're going to take each layer of clay and just start stacking them. This technique is actually, when you break it down, a makume gane, you know, the same way that you would stack layers of clay in a makume gane. I also like to add some translucent here and there in the stack, and this is rolled out onto a number 6, so it's fairly thin. And I just add the translucent kind of randomly. Adding that final layer. And then you just need to compress it. Make sure all the layers are nicely stuck together. And make sure you get rid of any air bubbles that appear. Just literally put your knife through and slice through it and then press the clay back down. Once you've got your stack nicely compressed, start to roll. And then you're going to cut the stack in half and restack. on press again. And you can see the layers of colour starting to show there. I actually think, this is just my opinion though, I actually think that the pink is a little bit too pink. But you know, mother of pearl, there's so many different colours with it anyway, so it doesn't matter. For me, I experimented quite a lot with this, with different colours and how much colour to use. And in my last lot that I did, I actually didn't add the pink. But what I did do was add a square of the pearl white with the white mica powder. And I actually think I prefer it that way. It all depends what you like. I preferred it without the pink, but you know, I tried it with the pink as well, wanted to see what that looked like. And if you look at real mother of pearl, there is often a hint of pink. So it still looks fairly authentic. I just preferred it without. So it's just a question of experimenting, seeing what colours you like, which colours you don't like, if you want to add more of one colour, or if you want to make all of the colours more vibrant, you can do that. If you were to make the colours more vibrant by adding more clay and more mica powders of the corresponding colours, you would end up with something that looks more like the abalone mother of pearl. But this is more akin to the oyster mother of pearl. Okay, so I've rolled and stacked again. So I rolled and stacked 3 times in total, and then the last roll I rolled out to about 1/2 inch thickness. Now what you need is to take something that you can poke into the clay, whether it's a brush, or I'm just using one of my tools, and you're literally just going to press that into the clay as far down as you can push it, and you're just going to make random impressions in the clay. And you can see I'm pushing really deep into the clay. Because what you're going to try and do here is get like a rippled effect, like you see in mother of pearl. So I'm just going to keep on pressing into the clay. You can, you know, just do dots and things, but I do a few of those, but it's mainly just straight lines. So you just keep doing that until you're happy with it. And like with any Makume Gani style, you're never going to get the exact same result each time. It's always going to be slightly different. I switched over to the paintbrush there just to make some thinner impressions. So when you're happy with that, you just start to compress the clay back together again. just keep squishing that clay until you've got it into a block, a squarish block. Give it a little roll and compress some more. And then this is the moment of truth. Get your flexible blade and slice through the stack. Look how cool that looks. And the colours are so subtle. You can take off small slivers of clay, or you can take off bigger pieces. Depends what you want to make with it, I guess. You could just take the slices and make a veneer. Take bigger slices like this one and just make a pendant or something. So that's all I'm going to slice off just for you to see, and you could see that there's a lot left. You can make so many things out of this. So I'm just deciding which piece to use to show you quickly how I'd make a pendant from this. So I've got my backing already rolled out. Just place the slice on the top of the backing. Roll over so it's nice and smooth and stuck to the backing. Just get rid of that excess clay. I'm just quickly showing you the difference in colours there, and you can see that the previous one I made is more of a silvery look, and this has got more of a pink hue to it, like I explained to you before. So if you don't like it with the pink hue, don't add the pink. So I'm just cutting my piece into a pendant shape. Showing you the difference in colours again. They both look nice. Just going to show you quickly how I make one more pendant. I'm just going to roll some more clay out to make the back, and then take some more of the pieces that I'd already cut off. And just lay them side by side on the clay. So you're making this is just a small veneer. I'm just making enough so I can make another pendant. So I'm going to take a round cutter for this one. 2 round cutters. I'm going to do a round pendant with a smaller piece cut out in the middle. But I need some more clay, it's not quite enough. So just use that round cutter. Remove the excess clay. Excuse me. And then a smaller, rounder cutter just to cut away a hole. And then just remove that piece. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. And I'll bake these and then sand them and buff them, and I'll show you the results. Hi guys, I'm back, and I just wanted to quickly show you how I resin a piece. This is taken from the batch that I just made. I've already resined this piece, but I'm going to put another layer on because I know some people want to know how to do it. So you just need to put some painter's tape down, sticky side up, place your piece on the tape so it's kept in place while you're putting the resin on, it's not going to move around. Put the resin on the piece, and then with a cocktail stick or toothpick, just start to drag the resin to the edges, as close to the edges as you can get. I'm barely touching the piece. I'm just literally dragging that resin to the edges. It's always best to put too little on than too much. You don't want it to overflow, and if you need to add some more, you can. So just keep dragging the resin to the edges. You need to get it as close to the edges as you can, because once the resin starts to cure, it tends to shrink a little bit. If you see any bubbles in there, what you can do is take a lighter and just run it over the piece just to burst those bubbles. So I'm just checking the edges all the way around, making sure that it's really close to the edge. So if it does shrink, it's not noticeable. And that's it. I'll put that in the UV light and I'll come back to you with the results. So while that piece is in the UV lamp curing, I'll just show you all the pieces again. These are the ones that I made before, and they do have a more silvery tone to them. Like I say, I didn't add the pink in this one. I added the white pearl, an extra white pearl clay with the white mica powder. So it does have a more silvery look compared to the ones from this batch. And this is the pieces that I made, sanded and buffed. And you can see it's more of a pinkish tone. It's not a massive difference, but it's there nonetheless. So if, you know, it depends which you prefer. So that's all the pieces. And here's the finished resin piece. Okay guys, well, thanks